Hello, wrestling fans. Now, as many of you would know by now, this is WCW versus NWO No Mercy, a classic Nintendo 64 game. Now, I myself was wondering who these guys are. As many of you know, these are custom characters, but they do have their bases in real life. Aki-Man here is actually a representative of the legendary Mitsuharu Misawa. May God rest his soul, may he rest in peace. Legendary. If you have not watched any of his matches, I definitely recommend them. He has the most 5-star matches of anyone in the history of pro wrestling, and is definitely a sight to behold in the ring. Brutal spots and just artistry in the ring. Definitely a legend among all of the greatest legends. Rest in peace, as I said. The work he did take a toll on his body, but Aki-Man is representative of Mitsuharu Misawa, except that he does not. Misawa never did a Phoenix Splash or a Shooting Star Press, but that is Misawa. And Shogun is Toshiaki Kawada, another man who has had fantastic matches. If you have not watched his work, I highly recommend it. A legend in his own right. His match versus Mitsuharu Misawa in 1994 is probably my favorite of all time, and Shogun here has his move list. Execution is actually Kento Kobashi, another legend of All Japan Pro Wrestling in the 90s. Countless 5-star matches for him as well. Recently having a classic with Samoa Joe that I suggest you check out if you have not watched it. And his moveset is that of Kento Kobashi's, is the Executioner's. Dr. Frank is Jumbo Tsutsura, or Jumbo Tsuruta, not sure how you pronounce it. Legend of 80s All Japan Pro Wrestling, has had his own 5-star matches as well, and was actually in a commercial pretending to be Mario in Japan in the 80s. True story that really happened. Great pro wrestler. I suggest you watch his work as well. Jekyll is Dr. Death Steve Williams, another man who has a great 5-star match versus Kento Kobashi. I also suggest you watch that if you have not. Great match. May God rest his soul as well. And Maya Inca Boy is the last of the 4 corners of heaven, as they are so called. Akira Taue, quite possibly the best big man of all time. If you have not seen his work, I highly recommend it. He was a sight to behold in the ring. As we move forward here, Hank Hanna is Genichiro Tenryu, who just had a match versus Okada, which was his retirement match. I want to give credit real quick to Suicidal Madmaster for this list. Off Game Facts, Kimchi is Koji Kitao. I'm not quite sure who that is, but that is who Kimchi is. It's Koji Kitao. My guess it would be he would be like a deathmatch pro wrestler. Daki Ken is Sushi Onita, which is also a deathmatch wrestler. I've seen some of his work in FMW. A legend of the deathmatch scene. Brikowski is credited with being Kodo Fuyuki, who I've never heard of, but apparently the taunts and signature moves are his. Some think this is Mil Mascara, but Suicidal, what's this guy's name? Suicidal Madmaster claims that is not the case. Ming Chi is Tarzan Goto, and Hanzo Man is the legendary Hayabusa, who is the innovator of the Phoenix Splash and probably the cornerstone for FMW. A legend. I highly recommend you watch his work. Don't watch the time he botched his moonsault unless you're into seeing really grotesque stuff. But definitely a legend in his own right. One of the best juniors to ever exist, in my opinion. I suggest watching the Super J Cup match versus Liger.